that was awesome. Wait, tank, don't see me, don't see me. He saw me. This is kind of fun, just dropping people off. This is what I wanted to do in Battlefield 2042, but I don't know how that turned out. I'm a transport pilot. Lots up there on that balcony. Oh, blew him off the balcony.
Oh, I just got a long shot. Like, it's front of me with like DMR, like it's a 458.
Jump, Mikey, ramming speed! That was worth it. Hey folks, Dave here, and yes, today we're going to be talking about the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 beta here on PC. Odds are you have already heard that this beta is going on, unless you've been living out somewhere in the mountains, or like me, went on vacation for the whole week right before the beta dropped, but I was just barely able to jump in once I rolled back into town after a nice relaxing vacation into some very non-relaxing COD team deathmatch lobbies. In this video though, I want to focus on the ground war mode, and the title of this video is mostly tongue-in-cheek. Ground War is not a Battlefield replacement, it's not Battlefield at Home. It actually stands out as its own style of open map FPS gameplay pretty well, and I think it is an improvement over the Ground War version that we saw in Modern Warfare. Before we jump all the way in, I am playing the beta here on PC with mouse and keyboard on my Apex gaming PC. Apex is a longtime sponsor here on the channel, and they are the sponsor of this video as well, so make sure you guys crank up the quality settings down there because it is now in 4K thanks to my Apex PC. If you guys want to upgrade your PC or make the leap from consoles, or if you just saw those ridiculous 4000 series graphics card prices, check out the link down below in the description where you guys can see 3 pre-approved tiers of Apex Gaming PC pre-builds designed by me and the Apex Gaming team. There's an option for every budget, and you guys can save up to $250 off the purchase price depending on which build you select if you use code RangerDave on checkout as well. As always, a big thank you to Apex for their support of my channel here. Let's talk some ground war here, because I really hope you guys aren't expecting to see some kind of crazy TDM montages here on my channel. That's just not my jam, but I really do enjoy the CODs as they drop. Always a good time with friends, but I think that ground war overall is just a mode that fits what I'm looking for in an FPS game. It's got just the right amount of scale and chaos to make things not super ultra competitive. There's just a lot of random things going on across the map, choppers crashing, kill streaks being called in. There's always something going on, and you can still have that tight infantry focused gameplay if you want to. Just make sure that you're watching both ways when you cross the street, because those APCs and tanks are going to tear you up out in the open. Now, Ground War has gotten some additional tweaks since the version that we saw in the last Modern Warfare game in 2019, and I've really enjoyed all these tweaks. Let's talk about, first of all, the player controller, just how your player character moves. I'm quite happy that slide canceling is no longer an option. That always felt like an unintended side effect of the player controller and the game's movement. And we still have sliding. You know, you still have some sliding and bunny hopping going on. There's some skill you can learn in your movement, but slide canceling to me always just felt like more of a glitch than something intentional. Now, there is a lot of bunny hopping, especially in the smaller game modes, but here in Ground War, you're going to be running around so much that people aren't going to be hopping around every single corner. So if that bunny hopping gameplay drives you crazy like it does me sometimes, you're going to see less of it overall in Ground War. My overall point here, though, is just that the player controller, as always, feels great, and I just like those additional tweaks since the last Modern Warfare game on how your character moves. It definitely scales well on the larger maps, too. I've also found myself really enjoying the new recoil patterns here in Modern Warfare 2's beta. I know that there's been a lot of talk from Warzone-focused players about how there's just not really any more of those laser beam full auto assault rifles in the game anymore. And again, that's a change that is very okay with me. It was actually very hard for me to get used to that in Warzone, coming from more tactical games usually, with more realistic recoil patterns. Just the expectation that, yeah, you can definitely run a full auto assault rifle in COD, and you can maintain that really tight cone of fire. But that's not as easy here in Modern Warfare 2, and overall I'm a big fan of that change. Especially on these larger ground war maps, it works really well where you can cross some open terrain or get attacked at distance during a ambush and still have a chance to fight back, even with that faster time to kill that I believe is here in Modern Warfare 2. It's just a little bit faster than it was in the last game. Kind of impressive given that this entire game is and always has been super fast paced already. But I'm very okay with a faster time to kill and more aggressive and slightly more grounded recoil patterns on your guns. Burst firing felt really good in this beta, and I was able to pick up a number of weapons that were just in the default classes pretty quickly and felt pretty comfortable with them. Beyond those more overarching tweaks to the game itself, the changes that I noticed here for Ground War specifically are just more vehicle spawns overall, especially just the transport categories. A big thumbs up from me on that one. There's always plenty of transport options down at your main base, and it seemed like most players were ignoring the vehicles, so there was always a boat or a light vehicle to try out, and even the tanks seemed to mostly sit abandoned back at our base, and all of them were quite fun to use. I went on some pretty nasty kill streaks with the vehicles just because players seem to want to ignore them when they really shouldn't, but they all seem to have pretty obvious weaknesses that players who decided that I needed to go could actually take me out without too much trouble. Really, I think my only complaint is that getting hit markers for very light damage on your vehicle, you know, somebody up in a tower spraying you with their AR, does get old and distracting after a while. And I would almost rather just not see those hit markers for super small amounts of damage at all. There's just a lot going on your screen, which is a downside to a lot of games with big maps and big modes like this. There's just a bit of an overwhelming amount of info on your HUD. For me, most of my fun in the beta was definitely here in Ground War mode, and if you guys are picking the game up, definitely don't skip over it. For now, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.